Good morning, guys. A few things popped up in my feed over the last 12 hours. Kind of crazy how my recommendations pop up things sometimes that I could really care less about. And one of them was a bunch of vegan doctors that submitted requests to be heard in front of a committee of panelists. And it was the typical vegan crackpot Dr. McGregor and Dr. Milton, whatever the hell his name is. And I think Garth Davis was there. There was a bunch of vegan nutritionists and doctors there that stood in front of this committee and basically used every tactic in the world to scare this committee into taking dairy off of the dietary guidelines, using the fact that Canada has already done that. And also when Dr. Milton, what is it, Dr. Milton something, I don't know the guy's name, you just call him Dr. M, gets up in front of the committee, he draws attention to the fact that there's not only a diversity of race sitting on the committee panel, that there's also no diversity of male-female. And on his closing statements, he closed it by saying, basically, that I would hope that you would work on your racism, your diversity, and the fact that you're making bad recommendations using dairy on the food pyramid as a recommendation. So I guess there's a huge majority of the African American population that cannot digest dairy. They cannot produce the enzyme to break down lactose, which I think they call it lactase. And through that, that's a bad recommendation, because they're saying that people are adhering and trying to believe the government or dietary guidelines that are put out, which that's typically not true. Most people don't even know what's on the dietary guidelines. The majority of people don't even know what a dietary guideline pyramid or recommendation looks like. So they're using this blanket statement of people going by the dietary guideline to actually gauge their health and follow recommendations. That's not even the case. 90% of people that I know don't even know what's on a dietary guideline recommended by the government. They just eat food. And the problem is they don't educate themselves to figure out what they should be eating. So to stand in front of a panel and say that you're being racist and having dairy on your dietary guidelines is causing people to be sick and putting them in more situations to where their health is at risk is absolutely absurd. Most people have never even looked at one. They don't even know what's on it. They don't even know how to follow it. First of all, that's the problem. It's not the fact that milk is on it and it's causing all these conditions and stuff like that. It's the fact that people don't even know what's on it. They don't even follow it. So for these doctors and nutritionists and stuff to stand up in front of this panel and bring all this attention to dairy in general, saying that it's causing this and causing that, and then you're racist and you don't have enough diversity and all this on this committee, it's just a bunch of straight nonsense. And what I don't get is people will buy into this. People will listen to what these people have to say, and they'll blanketly say, okay, well, I'm not going to consume dairy anymore because these Yahoo doctors that obviously have some kind of agenda said that I shouldn't be having it. Well, you didn't follow it to begin with. You didn't look at the different types of stuff that was on there and how much you should be having. And I'm not saying the dietary guidelines in itself is that great, because it's not. It's complete crap. When you're putting grains and sugary foods above whole, nutritious, protein and fat-based foods from animal products, organs, good natural oils from like olive oil, avocado oil, things like that, you've got a problem. I do admit that there's something wrong with it, but it's not to the extent that they're bringing it. Most people don't even look at it. Most people would rather eat at fast food restaurants and eat man-made processed foods and carbs and sugars and things like that than actually look and see what's on the dietary guidelines. There's a big portion of how we blame and look at things, and we make blanket statements that's been flying around for years now, and wanting to blame it so much on the food as much as, or so much on the dietary guidelines is so much not as much on people's stupidity, their obliviousness to the fact that they should be eating these types of things, or these things are recommended. They don't follow them. They just eat whatever the hell they want, and they just let it go after that. But for these doctors to stand up in front of this committee, out of 2,000 people, they were selected to stand there and just feed just nothing but nonsense, because they make these blanket statements about dairy is this number one this and number one that. It's absolutely absurd. I just don't understand any of it. And there's a huge push, a huge vegan agenda going on right now, and they're trying to do whatever they can to make people suffer in the process. And that's just what it comes down to. They want people to live just like them, and that's it. And it doesn't matter if you have a condition that says you should live like them or not. They don't care about that. They care about what their agenda is, their ideology, and their push to make it happen. And they want people to walk around just like them, looking like them, talking like them, being a zombie just like them. That's what they want. And if they can succeed in that, that's what makes them happy. But a vegan diet is not a good diet. It's a very deficient diet. There's a lot of nutrients missing. EPA, DPA, vitamin D, vitamin E, heme-iron. There's a number of things that you don't get the bioavailable form of in a vegan diet. You get different forms of nutrients that have to be converted 2 and 3 times to make what your body ends up needing in the long run. And by then, are you really getting the best form of it? No. I mean, if I could eat a piece of steak and get good vitamin B12 from it, and get good heme-iron, vitamin A, whatever, maybe that's what I need. Maybe that's what my body wants some of, because I'm not getting it in the most bioavailable form. Omegas and stuff like that, you don't find them in vegetables either. You get them in fatty sources of fish and things of that nature. Good sources of vitamin D. There's like 35% vitamin D, and I forget if it's oysters, or I think it's oysters. I love oysters. I don't have any vitamin D problems anymore. Even the forms of vitamin K in vegetables are not that great for people. There's more vitamin K1 than there is K2. K2 is your decalcification and arterial wall vitamin that helps remove calcium and direct calcium to the bone in places that it needs to go. It's your vitamin for your bones and your heart. K1 is your clotting vitamin that a lot of people are scared of. They're on stuff like warfarin and things like that. Well, there's a lot of vitamin K1 in vegetables. So if you're scared of that and you're taking drugs to blood thin, and you're not supposed to have a lot of vitamin K1, well, guess what you're doing? The opposite of what you should be doing. Anyhow, I don't want this video to be too long, but it's crazy that this is going on right now. It seems like the push to make everything go vegan is literally happening, and it's very scary. I will never do it. Nobody will ever make me do it, and I'll never stop doing what I'm doing, talking against it. It's just stupid. And the amount of vegan hate that I've received lately on social media is just crazy. One vegan calling my employer, talking to my GM, telling him what I should be doing in my free time. Matt Pryor from Veg Heads. I guess he's the owner in the UK of a vegetarian or vegan restaurant. Dude calls my employer, or emails my employer, letting him know what I do in my free time because he doesn't appreciate it. What the fuck is going on with these idiot fucking vegans? My employer told me yesterday, like, dude, that guy's a big moron. Anytime something's going on in your private life and they're wanting your employer to know about it and it doesn't attach to your business, there's something wrong with people. And he laughed and he said, man, what an idiot. He said, you'll never get in trouble for somebody like that contacting this business over something silly. Now, if you went talking bad about this business or trashing this business or something like that, and somebody contacted us, obviously there would be an issue. But this is something that you do in your free time. Why would this vegan idiot be contacting me? And he said, it just goes to show how sorry they are. And it's the truth. And then you get Dr. Johl Kahn in his newest video trashing or plant-based news, talking about Dr. Johl Kahn trashing Joe Rogan because they claim that he's sponsored by the meat industry and Joe Rogan is just out to make people sick and all this other stuff. Dr. Johl Kahn is the biggest idiot doctor out there. The guy's a condescending prick. He talks down to everybody that he talks to. He talks with this demeanor that he knows everything about everything and that you can't tell him anything. I've proved that dude wrong on so many occasions. We've had conversations on Facebook when Bart K was involved where I've completely trashed this guy and he can't even defend himself properly. Talking about how vegans have better blood panels and stuff like that. I went on a journey and proved to him on nothing but a meat-based diet that my blood panels were better than any vegan that he could show. I even used Ryan from Happy Healthy Vegan to put my lab panels up against, which destroyed his lab panels, which were so much better lipid-wise. And then he didn't have anything to say after that. But yet he wants to go on camera trashing Joe Rogan because the claims that he's sponsored by the meat industry and stuff like that, and he doesn't believe in anything but a plant-based diet. The guy is a freaking moron. He's already lost his shit I don't know how many times, and people follow them. And then when they get on camera, it's like nothing ever happened. It's like they never got into a debate with a meat eater. They never got into a debate with somebody that's proved them wrong. It's not good enough for them to sit back and say, hey, wait a second, maybe I don't have this right. I've been proven wrong how many times now, and maybe I should start looking at things a different way. No, you know why? Because if they go back, all the work that they did, all the preaching and touting and stuff that they did, all looks like a lie at that point. And they have to take that whole entire statement and all the work that they've done just looks like trash. So you can prove somebody wrong, 1,000 times, but if they've been practicing something for years and years and years and putting it out, and then all of a sudden they change, they look like liars. So no matter what you do, you're never going to be able to change them. All right, guys, I'm headed to work. Just wanted to leave my thoughts this morning. Thank you, and have a blessed day.